unusual day. It was a calm, rainy morning in the city. The streets glistened with rainwater, and as cars passed through puddles, they splashed droplets in every direction. Inside a small cafe, everything was as usual. Maziello was performing at the cafe as usual. Occasionally interrupted by the clinking sound of a spoon against a cup. The aroma of freshly brewed coffee lingered in the air, creating a warm and cozy atmosphere. Leo, the cafe owner, stood behind the counter, patiently drying cups. Nothing about this day seemed different. Near the window, a young woman in a beige coat sat behind her laptop, her fingers swiftly moving across the keyboard. Her face was expressionless, as if she wasn't truly working, just passing the time. In a corner, a middle-aged man with gray hair sat with a neatly spread out newspaper. Every now and then, he flipped a page, the rustle of the paper audible in the quiet. Moments later, the cafe door opened and a man entered, drawing everyone's attention. Tall, wearing a long coat that reached his knees and a hat that seemed unusually large. He wore oversized dark sunglasses, even though it was rainy and dim outside. A small, worn-out suitcase was in his hand. The atmosphere in the cafe suddenly shifted. Leo, in the middle of preparing coffee, briefly turned his gaze toward the door. The young woman paused her typing and looked up at the stranger. The newspaper man remained still, but it was clear he was now fully alert. The man walked slowly toward the counter. His steps were deliberate, and the sound of his shoes on the wooden floor echoed louder than expected. Tried to keep his voice steady as he asked,
"What can I get you?"
A black coffee, no sugar.
Leo began preparing the coffee, but could feel the weight of the man's gaze on him. An uncomfortable silence settled in. Even the young man's music, which was still playing, couldn't break this strange feeling. The man took his coffee and walked quietly toward a table in the corner. All eyes followed him. He sat down, but didn't open his suitcase. He placed the coffee on the table and locked his hands together on his knees. Leo noticed that his eyes were scanning the cafe rapidly. The woman tried to return to her laptop, but her fingers remained still above the keys. The man with the newspaper folded it slowly, but, unlike before, didn't reopen it. The stranger finally took a deep breath and reached for the coffee, but didn't drink it. After a brief pause, perhaps overwhelmed by the strange weight in the air, he abruptly stood, grabbed his suitcase, and walked toward the door without a word. The man stepped into the rainy street. For a moment, silence filled the cafe. Then the woman let out a quiet sigh and resumed typing. The man with the newspaper reopened it, as though nothing had happened. Leo leaned on the counter. He started cleaning the cups. Nothing seemed out of place, yet he felt this day was somehow different. A few minutes later, new customers entered the cafe and everything returned to normal. A group of friends walked in and, as always, began chatting loudly.
One green tea, please.
And could I get a dessert?
the cafe filled with sound and life again. Everyone became absorbed in their own little worlds. One person was reading a book, another writing in a notebook, and someone else checked their phone. Everything seemed normal. Everything continued as it always did. Leo returned to his task, but he couldn't shake the image of the mysterious man from his mind. The wall clock ticked steadily. The cafe door opened and closed. Laughter and conversation echoed, and the space once again felt familiar. Everything appeared ordinary, but for Leo, it was an oddly strange day.
Coffee steam, a quiet song. Street lights flicker all night long. Raindrops race on window panes, washing over whispered names. Eyes behind a dark disguise hold a world in haunted skies. A suitcase worn, a step too slow. He came with silence, left with ghosts. And the rain keeps the secrets of the ones who never stayed. Footsteps echo through the stillness in the stories never made. Just a glance, just a moment, like a shadow through the flame. Then he's gone but not forgotten, though we never learned his name. Type and sip, the screen goes pale. Fingers pause, but thoughts derail. Pages fold and coffee cools when strangers rewrite all the rules. Every chair holds a memory, every sip a silent plea. But the jazz keeps playing low, and the world pretends to know. The cafe breathes again, just like nothing ever changed. But something in the silence still softly speaks his name. Just a glance keeps the secrets of the ones who never stay. Footsteps echo through the stillness in the stories never made. Just a glance, just a moment, like a shadow through the flame. Then he's gone but not forgotten, though we never learned his name.